Hi there, welcome to Green Diva Quickies.
Today we're going to speak with John Voelcker, who's an old friend of the Green Diva family.
Well, that's not to say he's old necessarily, but he is our go-to guy for all things green cars.
As editor of greencarreports.com.
Let's hear what he has to say. Can you just kind of give us a 101 on what compliance means when we're talking about green or electric or hybrid?
You'll hear a lot of news items about new electric cars that are coming out starting this year in the years to come. And I think it's important for consumers to be able to separate them out. Which ones are going to be the high volume cars that will be with us for a long time and which aren't. Because a number of makers are only making all electric cars to comply with a California rule that you have to sell a certain number of zero-emission vehicles in that state starting this year. And a lot of companies are putting a lot of hype behind, hey, we have a plug-in car too. We're electric, we're green. But in fact, there are going to be very small numbers of those cars. They're only going to be on sale for a handful of years. And once they meet their target number, that's it, no more.
And are they only selling in California?
California and certain other states. There's a quirk in the California law that says that for the moment, any car sold in any state that has California rules, which includes most of the Northeast, a couple Pacific Northwest states, and a couple of others, any plug-in or any zero-emission vehicle sold in those states counts toward the California rules at the moment.
Okay.
So you see this rollout pattern where you've got California, Oregon, Washington, and then the Northeast. Well, those are all the California states.
Okay.
So basically it's just consumers. You know, I want to help consumers understand the difference between something like the Leaf, where Nissan is going to be able to make hundreds of thousands of them within a couple of years, compared to Honda's going to have something called the Fit EV. They're going to make 1,100 over 3 years.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Here, right? That's not a real car. That's a compliance car. It'll be perfectly real. It'll run fine. It has all the options. It'll be pleasant to drive. It'll get you the range. All of that stuff. It's not that it's not, a real car, but it's not something Honda wants to sell. If they didn't have the California ZEV rules, they wouldn't be selling it. And I think it's important to identify those cars for consumers. Which ones are compliance cars that are being reluctantly dragged into the market and are only sold in small numbers versus the ones where, they're actually, manufacturers want to sell you a whole boatload of them.
So those compliance cars, are they going to be difficult to get repairs on as well because they are only 1,100 of them? Or
Good question. Some of them won't be sold at all. They'll only be leased, which means the manufacturer can take them back at the end of the lease term and crush them. So,
oh my gosh.
No problem. Others of them will be sold, and there are requirements about you have to have spare parts available for a certain period. I think it's 8 or 10 years, depends on the state law. So there will be parts available. And plug-in owners tend to be pretty resourceful, or at least the early ones. They get parts made, a lot of this stuff. But it is a concern as compared to the Nissan Leaf, which, there are tens of thousands of them now in the world. There will be hundreds of thousands of them a couple of years from now.
So next, 6 months from now, when somebody's going out to buy a new car, how will they know which are the compliance cars and which are not?
They will have listened to your podcast.
We got the scoop.
And they'll check your website out.
On Green Car Reports, talking about compliance cars. All you do is go to the site and search for compliance cars. But I'll sort of name names.
As always, not enough time and too much information. We love John.
Yeah, but you can find out more about this topic and other topics relating to greener driving at greencarreports.com.
And if you want to learn anything about any of our Green Diva topics, join us at thegreendivas.com.
That's THE, greendivas.com. Bye-bye.